Peace. In the name of Allah, I'm Aubrey Muhammad. I pray that everyone is well. Hempstead family, friends, believers, welcome to my Facebook Live session. Black America, stop hitting the snooze button on our wake-up calls. I'm going to talk about two of them today. Two wake-up calls. There's one, these fatal police shootings, murdering of unarmed black men by police that isn't practiced on other communities but us as a people. And this growing, threatening poor class. They're growing a poor class, and mainly that's us, Black America. And they're doing it through a black tax. We're paying other people taxes, mainly in property taxes. The example is in Hempstead. I'm using an example of Black Hempstead. And that's they're growing a greater, wealthier billionaire, rich in fewer numbers. They're concentrating all that wealth and resources in the fewer numbers of oligarchs and so-called elite and rulers and economists. They got the economy controlled by fewer, and they're creating a bigger pool of poor people, and mainly that's Black America, us, because they aim to keep us as a permanent underclass. That's the 2 points I want to make today. I'll wait for a few minutes for folks to come in at 6:04. Give it one more minute. I pray that your Sunday is well. I'm out here at Eisenhower Park. It's cloudy, but it's good. It's nice and cool. The humidity is gone. It's a slight little wind. And very little people out here. For some reason, around this park, everybody started coming about 7, especially in this area towards Memorial. Let me give you a quick scan around. Well, this is not a scenic area. I'm by the POW. Well, this is reversed anyway. This is the POW memorial thing here. MIA. I think that's Vietnam, Iraq, Cambodia. And that's the main memorial. And that's like just fields over there. The golf. You could probably hear them golf balls pinging every once in a while. Got a golf course over there. And back is an amphitheater. They had a rock and roll concert over there yesterday. And I'm pretty sure they learned from the week before, I'm pretty sure they learned from the week before, Saturday, they closed the whole west side of this park. I tried to pick up somebody from the aquatic center. They had an aquatic swim, big swim. They wouldn't let anybody in on the west side of the park. And people are not familiar with coming from that amphitheater, the aquatic center, or the amphitheater, right over here to the parking lots and stuff that lead out by the south side, the southeast Hempstead Turnpike exit. It was awful. And parents were calling Ubers. The Ubers couldn't come in because the silly police, you're blocking off the traffic to regulate it, but you're blocking off pickups. Just let the pickups let the people dropping off and parking find the parking spaces. But today, I heard some music over there, so something's going on in the amphitheater. Yesterday was a rock and roll concert here. Big one too. And it was beautiful out. And it's nice out. I like this cloudy overcast here in the park. Because it ain't too hot, it ain't too cold. A little light wind. It's real good. Now the updates from last week. I have one more scheduled live session for the Healthy Self-Image, Develop a Healthy Self-Image, Mind, Body, and Soul. And that part 2 will be the final part of dealing with the body. My guest will be massage therapist Jackie Hill. That'll be coming up either next week or very soon. And also Wednesday, big day in Hempstead. Wednesday, August 3rd, 6 o'clock. Please come on over to Village Hall. It used to be St. Nicholas Street, James gone away, to the Village Hall by the police precinct. Come to the meeting to express your dissatisfaction and your outrage of them trying to convert Hempstead into a yuppie college white city for luxury. It's going to be all luxury. People trying to argue the point. Y'all are silly, man. Those of you that came on Facebook the other day, and I was going back with y'all was silly, man. Trying to make it think that benefits us. Oh, tearing down old stuff, the old apartments for new ones. Luxuries ain't for you. And the old ones have been devitalized. They have purposely used the black tax I talked about on part 2 that I'm going to get into in a couple of minutes. The black tax. It's paying somebody else's taxes. Rich, wealthy outsiders are paying their taxes. That ain't a feasible, wise economic decision. That's and they're going to build it as a luxury apartments that will reflect, like Tom Swazi said. No good Tom Swazi said he wanted Hempstead to be a city, a college city that is seamless between Garden City, Hempstead, and Rockville Center. Well, you know what that means. Garden City and Rockville Center is not going to resemble Hempstead, the block, the stead. Hempstead is going to resemble them, the way they did in Harlem and Brooklyn, in Harlem in particular. And we will not be welcome into that new luxury apartments and shopping shopping centers any more than we are in Garden City right now. We go to Garden City, we window shop, we buy a few things, we make guest visits. It's a sundown town. Get out of town by sundown. Garden City is a sundown town. They want to know what you're doing there, like they're going to follow you. So that's what's going on in Hempstead. Come out August 3rd to the village board meeting to express your outrage of Hempstead being converted into a devitalized failed suburb, a black colony. We literally reflect a colony, resemble a colony. They're being converted into a colony, into a yuppie city, which is bypassing us, stepping over us like they've always done. For over 100 years, they've been doing this to us. Burned down, they razed our all black towns all across the country. Hundreds of them. 60 were major, and a handful were very famous, like Black Wall Street, Rosewood, even Los Angeles, and Durham, North Carolina. They razed them. And these are the same planners. They redlined, and after that, they redlined us. They took our farmland. The last 100 years, we lost like 18 million acres of farmland. I mean, it was 11 in the early 1990s when I read that in the final call. And striving to keep us a permanent underclass. And we will remain, because we have that Achilles heel in us. After all this suffering we did, all this trauma, we have Stockholm Syndrome, collective Stockholm Syndrome, where we trust this system. Now it's it was integration. The preachers sold us the damn idea. And these broken so-called civil rights advocates will go on integration. White folks will change. Their nature will never change. That's your flaw why you trust them, because you don't study their nature. And we will never change our condition until we study the nature of Caucasian people. Be like the early 5%ers, like I did. I got my mic on here. Put your right over your left and study the Caucasian. Study the white man. The way he's been studying us, scientifically, mastering us. Study him, his ways. When a group of them get together, it's survival. They have survival ingrained in them deep. And they have a natural fear of genetic annihilation by black men. Because we have the power to produce black melanin, so-called color. Well, he's a colored man, but you call yourself colored and stuff. He's colored. And black is a threat to the survival of Caucasian males. They cringe when they see a strong, masculine, alpha black male around them. It cringes them. And you see the result of so-called race mixing. I do not turn into some beige white man. We turn into a so-called lighter skinned black. We multiply. We become, you can hide it. That's it's funny as hell. To see our people do this, we do it. What's that? Not go along, to get along. Pass. They call it passing. It's a term for it. Passing. So-called black people, my color, complexion, a little straighter hair texture. I think the wavy hair probably give me away and make people think I'm so-called Latina, which is more so-called mixing. And our people pass as white. J. Edgar Hoover did that. He despised black people because he had that black in him, that contempt. And he saw how threatening he was to Caucasian, because they know you can't hide from them. They go on their little code, their little secret dog whistle code, the little indirect codes, you know, that they follow like they did OJ. Remember OJ said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. He was following that code. That code is what he knew they agreed to. He changed the way he spoke around white folks. OJ would switch gears. Jay-Z made the record, not black, I'm OJ. He said, okay, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling Caucasian people. And that's the dynamic in America. And when we come in, the trick was integration. They sold us that. It was a flaw. It destroyed us, independence. Look at the Black Baseball League, the so-called Negro League. It was fascinating. We had all black hotels, black businesses, insurance, all type of stuff. Especially in Harlem. Lost it all in integration. It was a trick. And now the new trick is diversity and inclusion. They're going to build a yuppie city smack dab in the middle of Hempstead, seamlessly connected to Garden City and Rockville Center. That's seamless. You can't drive fast to Rockville Center, nor Garden City. When you come through Hempstead, you hit the gas. You know how you change there. That seamless city, we will not be welcoming. We will not be shaping it. And the diversity and inclusion will be contemporary construction jobs. Where these preachers and our broken politicians sell us the idea that is beneficial for us. That's temporary jobs. For long-term displacement that keeps us a permanent underclass, which they have been doing for 100 years. Well, that's the update. That's for you to come out August 3rd. That's why you should come out August 3rd. Because they're not developed. It's not intra-development. It's not nationalism. It's not economic independence. It's not generational wealth. It's more displacement and keeping us a pool of begging laborers and consumers. Don't own anything, just pushed around at will. Anybody coming in our community, immigrants come in, all type of these charities and stuff, non-tax contributing charities and stuff that have little effect, little positive effect, because it doesn't create nationalism or an economy. We're a strong, independent economy. We can do it. Model ourselves off Marcus Garvey, United Negro Organization, and the Nation of Islam. Noble Drew Ali, Black Nationalist Organization that created our own. And we prosper in the midst of ignorance. In this integration. In the midst of integration, we prosper. Everybody else was back. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to give politicians money so they could run for office. The sorry asses didn't really want to capitulate and bow to the major parties. We were a lot stronger in the 70s. And he gave them money to run. But now all you want is, in politics, is a personal career. It's personal achievement. It's a career move. It's personal achievement and career move. Community suffering. All right. Well, it's 6:16. Let me get into this. The first wake-up call. Excuse me. Some water here. The first wake-up call is the fatal police murder, killing of unarmed black males. And this doesn't occur with other people. This is specifically aimed at us. Why are they murdering us? I just explained to you earlier, the Caucasian, he has a fear of genetic annihilation. That's subconscious. He's not even aware of it. I told you to test. Our brother, Dr. Neely Fuller, studied him. And our sister, our ancestor and beloved wise woman, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, proved and showed in examples how you could prove this. How if you take a black background with a white dot in it and a picture, like a 4x4 black background, and put a white dot in the middle, and put it side by side to a white background, 4x4 background, with a black dot in it. All of us will look at that and notice the reversal, but when Caucasian males look at that black background with the white dot, something happens to him in his subconscious. he cringes. He somehow has this anxiety. It's called fear of genetic annihilation of black, destroying white. There's other whole bunch of instances in the games. It's all in the segregation. What do you think segregation is about? Why do you think he keeps us apart from him in his social inequality? He doesn't have social equality with us because it's all about status quo. White is a position and a privilege. It's depriving black people. You deprive black people, that's what makes them black. Low resources, bad this, that. It's an entire system, and white, what is privilege? You can do it because you're white. They used to do it outright. Like my man Ron there. No, I told you a lot more people do come out after, after 6 for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, it's a status, and it's a social status quo and a social construct. If you submit to the construct, you get advantages. With us, it ain't even advantage. It's just a lack of discrimination. It's an easing of the burden. All right, black people, capitulate with us like OJ. Come on, OJ. Don't be black. Come on and be OJ. We won't stop. The police won't stop you in traffic. You won't get followed around in a store. You won't. But the thing is, when you make that deal, that man is operating from his subconscious psyche. That's deep in his nature. This is why we speak of the nature. Caucasian people is different. The fact that he has a gun. If you notice, they never fight us in fair ones, one-on-ones. Go look at these videos where you see black men defeating a white man. It'll be a one-on-one because we naturally superior to him in muscle mass and skill and rhythm. And so you ever heard of rhythm and stuff? We taught them all this fighting and stuff. Boxing. We used to box like this, man. You know how to fight? We naturally fought like the way you're supposed to fight. In a one-on-one, he would refuse it. He's a coward. He will not fight you in a fair fight. What does he do? He has to have an advantage. And how does he have you an advantage? He uses the law. And the law supports that social construct. Do as I say. It's illegal for you to be black. So you're questioning stuff. You're hitting glass ceilings, transparent racism, and unwritten rules. You know, the dog whistles. This is happening around us all the time. Be conscious of it. So he uses his gun to enforce the law. It's illegal for you to be black. And part of the social construct is I'm depriving you of resources. You're white, so you get the resources. He prints the money. That's long money that print the money. So now he has a law set against you, and he criminalizes the poverty he has engineered. Now we fall for it, hook, line, and sinker because we trust him, because we reflect our nature, which is original God, unto him. And it's different. He has fear of genetic annihilation. There's clinical terms for it. He has a chronos complex. That means he don't like taking orders from black people. I've seen them. You see them? They come up with all type of little slang. In them office corporations, come on, man. Where you hide? You come up with all type of excuses. You're on the phone with somebody about to hang up, then you see that you need his attention. You stay on the phone. Karens love doing that. Karens always do that. They stay on the phone talking to a ghost because you're a ghost, you're a phantom to them. You're a bad person. You're a social construct that I put you at the bottom as a permanent underclass. I'm going to prove it here. Karen, it's been done to me. Ken will do it too. Karen will say, yeah, the price of tea in China is going to lie. In order to keep that position of status quo, to put you in check. And so the police do it. Dumb stuff they used to pull us over for. Traffic. Unarmed black men are being murdered in traffic stops. They used to run us off street corners. We would be in front of the Massey bodegas in Hempstead. The 24-hour, back in the 80s, when we were more family rooted, going through the 70s to the 80s in Hempstead, you couldn't even buy liquor Sunday morning before church. You had to go to church. After church, you go drink. Ain't that something? Well, in Hempstead, back then we had the bootleg on Union. That was a good sister too. She had a little house. She would have the fridge. We have the wino wine, the Night Train Thunderbird, liquor, beer, and 40s and stuff in her fridge. She would set out the fridge to us who was consuming alcohol before they would let us buy it at 12 on Sunday. That's the way it was in Hempstead. The stores closed at 10. The latest a store stayed open in Hempstead was 10. I think it was maybe one. The 24 hours started maybe in the late 80s. The bodegas. They started just going 25 hours. Why were they selling us junk? And it attracted us. Why the brothers hanging out, low ambition, nothing to do, hanging out, striving to go break a law that constrains our blackness and economic position. We're going to hang out to go to manipulate around the law, sneaking around, doing so-called their derivative crimes. To obtain resources we've been systematically deprived of. So what would we do? We would go where we were attracted, where our energy was accepted, just hanging out in front of the bodegas. It's like we was like pigeons on the damn patio, man. Where people leave the stuff out for us, a little feed. You know how you come around this park. If I was some person with bread stuffing, the pigeons would come around me, eating the bread and stuff. So we outside the bodega because that's where they're selling the 40s. That's where they were selling the blunts. That's where they were selling that junk food and that fuel for death. They're merchants of death. And then when we hang out there, what would happen? They would come and move us out of there. Get on out of there. That was black codes. That was Jim Crow's law. Those are black codes, slave codes, Jim Crow laws after slavery. When we went into a white town, after they ran us out of theirs, them sundown towns, well, they wouldn't let us congregate. If like 2 or more of us were together, they wouldn't let us. They would run us out and keep it moving. You ever heard that expression? Go watch Miles Ahead. But our brother Don Chalet, did I say his name right? Don Chalet. Miles Ahead is about the story of Miles Davis. This happened to all our greats. It's the OJ effect. But Miles was conscious. Miles didn't care. Our brother Miles Davis and our sister Christina Carey, she played in that film, a good sister. And he was hanging out of a club that he was playing at. And he was front, the headline, smoking a cigarette. He had a white suit too. He was dressed, decked to the T, them jazz players, and right, the 50s. So, well, that was the 60s. Smoking a cigarette, and this dumb devil cop comes around. Get on, keep it. No, he saw him sweetheart away a white woman into a cab. That's what happened. That's what stirred it. He saw Miles Davis, sweetheart, outside. He was headlining the club, so he he got a white woman that he was obviously involved with, and put her in the cab, and sweethearted her away. And a white cop saw it and angered him. He said, and he went. What did he do? Went to the law. Keep it moving. What you doing? Saying? He said, look, man, I work here. You work here? Yeah. He showed him the headline, and then he said, well, I don't care. Nigga, get on out of here. And he went to swing on him. Miles Davis went to swing on him, and the cop came from the back, beat him down. That happens. That's the OJ effect, which Miles Davis wasn't doing, but he knew he was privileged just to be out there smoking, but the cops saw him with the white woman. But many of us do that. They come up with these laws that we're constrained to express ourselves. It's illegal for you to be black. And what does he do? He enforces it with his gun. And this is where this conflict comes. All of these fatal shootings is behind some trifling ass law that some coward Caucasian police, scared to death police, will not fight a black man 1-to-1 on hands, but he has the advantage of a firearm, and he's enforcing the law to keep us constrained. It's illegal for you to be black and express yourself and obtain resources legitimately through a system the way he has deprived us of. He made it scarce amongst us. And how has he done that? Because we trust him. As we go to the job, that we get the resources. That we move into a place to get it. They're jacking up rents everywhere. The cost of living is being increased on us. We're paying a black tax. It's harder for us. We're going to turn to a derivative crop. Martin Luther King Jr. discussed this in the 60s, the early 60s. Martin Luther King Jr., I believe that was his last sermon, when he said to Jesse, we need to support all black, he's boycotting white businesses. Dr. Martin Luther King had a black nationalist economic agenda before he passed, because he spoke to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said to boycott white businesses. He just broke all their rules, his handlers, those that were manipulating him to get into integration. He said boycott the white businesses to support the black ones. He said, Jesse, doesn't this black company make bread? Doesn't a black insurance company support them? That's when they murdered Dr. King, because he broke the mold. He broke the constraint they had him in. Don't focus on economics. Don't focus on self-sufficiency. We burned down all your towns for that. We raised all your black towns for that. Focus on integration. Now they have the gimmick, diversity and inclusion. You get temporary stuff, weak positions, but you're relying on Caucasians to change their heart that's rooted in their nature that is diametrically opposed to us. We can't see through this. This needs to be taught and institutionalized. That's why that cop, he can come with that gun while us congregating. Come on, get out of here, y'all. Let's go do this. And he's doing something trifling. For years, I've been traveling back to Suffolk County from the airports in Queens to Suffolk County. Mr. Abdul Hafiz was out there. May Allah be pleased with our beautiful brother that passed. Mr. Brother James and a few other brothers out in Suffolk County. And going back from Suffolk, from Nassau County, all the way even to the airports, to Suffolk County. And every night that I went out to Suffolk County, I saw these police, either the state troopers, Nassau County, at the Nassau County border, or the Suffolk police. Every time they pull over a car and the trunk is opened up, it's a black person. It's a black person. I've never once in my years since I've been making this commute back and forth, doing details and jobs and picking up things and making this commute, and mainly at night. I'm a night owl, so I do my thing at night. I'm tired now. Doing that night owl stuff. All them trunks are black. When they pull over white people, just pull them over. But when it's a black person, they pop open the trunk every time. But it's in their nature, man, to subdue us, to constrict, to go tit-tat and go look at these devils, man. They have like a checklist. Everything that's illegal for you to be black, I'm gonna go check down the list. Oh, you shouldn't be out here at this time. Oh, this should be happening with your light. And there's always some traffic excuse. And that's another tax they put on us, traffic. They locked us up for weed so much. They put weed on us when it was illegal. Look at the hypocrite Joe Biden. Locked us up, made it illegal for us to be black and poor. Okay, while they criminalized the poverty they engineered. They locked up dozens. I still got a warrant for a joint in Nassau County Jail. I was in Nassau County Jail. And passing a joint in the cafeteria, got caught. The brother stuck it in my shirt pocket. And they caught. That was a nasty CO. They racist, man. Back in the 80s, them COs was outright racist. He was mean, man. Chris snatched me up. That's when I got on E4. That was the notorious tip. And that joint, it was called passing paraphernalia. Yeah, contraband, possession of contraband in jail. And there was some intra charge, some inner charge, or some inner warrant that just stuck in that system on purpose. They kept that warrant on purpose. It came up the last time I went to Nassau County headquarters over there in Mineola. I was speaking to the lieutenant there, and I was getting an abstract of my criminal record and stuff to go look, see what they're talking about myself. She had to detain me. And luckily, it was just me, her, and that clerk in there. It was the court going in the back. It was like about 10 of them waiting to get in whatever court they were having. I don't know which court that was at the Nassau County headquarters in Mineola. Not on Harrods, the one on Franklin, next to the county legislator's office. And I was in there, and luckily I was on good terms with her. And we were like, there was only 3 of us there. And she said, when she checked through that abstract, I paid the little $20 fee, it wasn't even a full one. And I looked, and she said, oh, whoa, wait a minute, a flag came. A flag came. She had to go. She had to detain me. But since we were on, she said, hold it. She did. She said, hold it. Could you hold up here for a second? That was the detainment in a friendly way. She went in the back. She had went through, and what she was going through was that warrant that has remained on my record for a joint. And they're keeping it on my record to use it as an excuse in case they murder me or to come up with something, because they know I ain't no easy target. I'm not a soft target. It's a hard time with me, you know. You're going to get the energy you bring to me amplified when you're dealing with me. So that joint came from when I did that bid. I was in Nassau County Jail. Then I was leaving. I was being discharged. Oh yeah, this is nice. And I was a savage. I was out. I was stupid back then, drinking and smoking and cutting up. I couldn't wait to get out. And when I was leaving, I went to court. You know, I said, I'm getting out of here. The judge said, Aubrey Miller, you know, that's my government name, Aubrey Miller. You got a charge here. I said, well, what could this be? He said a joint. It was the joint that they caught me in the mess hall. He said, you could do 5 days or $100 fine. And you know how reckless I was and an idiot I was. I took the 5 days. I said, well, I did. I was thinking, you know how high and drunk I'm going to get off $100? I said, I did my time. I did the months. I forgot the months it was. And I was in E4. That was lockdown. That was a notorious tier back then in Nassau County. I did time there. I made it through that. I might as well do 5 more days. And I did 5 more days and got out. Yeah. And that was for weed. It's trifling, man. This system, we have to stop this. They're just giving all type of liberties. And you can just see it in their eyes. It's like a lust they have to capitalize off our predicament of it being illegal for us to be black. And they have criminalized us, and the poverty they have engineered. And we fall for it. Most of us, some of us woke up the last 2 years during the pandemic. All praises due to Allah. Allahu Akbar. We need to give ourselves a standing ovation. We are targeted because this man got a natural, locked into his subconscious fear of us. Subconscious. This is not what he consciously saying. Nigga is what he consciously say. But me as a Caucasian, pale skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, no rhythm, at the core of the Caucasian race, got that stiffness, that lack of connection to nature and the cosmos. That's the essence of Caucasoid, of the race. They have a core group that still express that nature. Others of them have mixed with us, been around us, we influenced them. We used to mock them years ago. Black people in the 50s, we used to call white people, a white woman had the body of an ironing board. We used to call them stiff. We used to go watch Richard Pryor. Go watch Richard Pryor. Said how the black man is walking in the jungle, in the woods or whatever, and the snake come by and he all slick and smooth and he dips and he take a move and avoid the snake. Say snake all calm, and the white man walked down the same path. He said, oh my God, snake, and he's all erratic moving and no rhythm and stuff, and the snake bites in because his lack of connection to nature. We have always said that about Caucasians. In the 50s, we used to say that. We used to say that they smell. Like the term white bread and crackers, you go smell a cracker. That's some white bread. We used to say that white people smell like that. In Hempstead, I don't know, around the country, I've heard this. White bread. We used to say that when they get wet, they smell like dogs. When white people are in the rain, we used to say that they smell like dogs. Black people used to say this because there was a difference in them and us. But so many of us have gotten conditioned to be around them, and they were exposed to us. all of that, the smell, that smell that we used to condemn, it was so bad to some black people, and it was such a dynamic, a sick dynamic, sick, lack of spiritual dynamic, that our sisters, my mother used to do this, or my aunts, they would work in white people houses, and Jewish people, pale-skinned Jewish people who are white, over in Five Towns and in other areas, Lynbrook, and work in their homes. They used to wear sulfur in their hair. Black women used to, sulfur was not to condition the hair. Sulfur was the smell that black women put in their hair. Like I put like coconut oil, like argan oil, these pleasant smelling stuff. Black women would perm their hair to be more accepted. You heard my sister Cherie Dorsch, the last episode I did, where she said our people that used to we should go natural and stuff like that to be ourselves. Well, our sisters used to perm their hair, like Sister Cherie Dorsch said, to be more comfortable, to make white people feel more ease around us. White people feel more ease around a so-called mixed race person, a person my complexion, hair texture, but not my voice. Maybe, well, it's Islam, I'm God, so everybody comfortable around me. When you God, you break all barriers. That's what God is, the oneness. You break all barriers. Nothing stands in front of Allah. You knock everything down. We master it all. That's what God is. Be yourself. White folks feel more at ease around a so-called mixed race person or a more meek black person. So our sisters, to be more agreeable to them in their presence, would wear the sulfur in their hair, and it would help them mask the smell that they're around, and they would blend in more with the white family that they were working for. Did you know that? That's why black women put sulfur. Remember the sulfur 8? That stuff is nasty smelling, man. It smelled like gunpowder. Caucasians have that sulfur smell. We don't. And most of that smell still, most of them have lost the smell. What do? Being exposed to us, eating our seasoning, our spices. Spices and herbs and seasoning have diminished that sulfuric smell. They've had that smell. That's the smell we should talk about. And when they're murdering us, these police, these coward police, will not go one-on-one with a black man. I remember Puma went one-on-one with, I think it was Dell. Drew. Dang, I said my brother's name wrong. My tall brother. On the hills. He said, we used to go to TSS. Drew, not Drew. Was it Drew? Forgot my brother's name. I think Puma told him, yeah, you think you tough? This is in the 80s. He said, yeah. Drew Adele. I think it was Drew. Tall brother. We stole a Stingray bike that somebody left out the TSS when they had the back entrance towards Front Street. The guy left his Swin Stingray out there, and he had the ball in there, and the brother took the vice grips, lifted up the seat, took the bike, and we drove off. But that brother, Puma, said, you think you're tough? And he went on one-on-one with him, and he beat him. And the brother beat Puma. I forgot my brother's name. I heard that. I didn't experience that, but I was here when we snatched up that bike out of TSS. But they do not do one-on-ones with us. They don't, because they're cowards. They frighten us. That's why they have the gun. They always got their hand on that gun. It's the subconscious. You talking to them, the first thing they do, they put their hand on their gun. All of these police killings is subconscious. We need a quarantine for that. We need a black agenda incorporated institutionally and even into the Constitution. We need a black agenda that is incorporated into the Constitution that separates our dealing with our community and Caucasians. They will never stop these murders. You know, we need our own militia, a well-trained and organized militia to defend Black America and to regulate our communities as an ultimate defense, not cultivating us. We need a team of warrior cultivators, a team of warrior scholars, a team of warrior mental health experts. We need a team. That's the institution. The militia protects that, and our businesses. Because if you don't have something defending your business, that's why we in a colonized state. And we need our own courts. There is no justice for us in the courts. Nothing specific. Well, you probably look around here, you may find a plaque to the Tuskegee Airmen. You might find one around here. I think I saw the brother over here one time, looking for that. But these police killings, we never can legislate that. We can never deal with laws for that. That have to be something that we have to institutionalize by us recognizing the different natures. They are different. The only problem is they're so dominant in society, we feel we got to be like them. So we take our nature and we project our nature onto them. And that's how they get to take advantage of us, because we put our trust in them. And they take advantage of that trust. Hundreds of years they've done it. We're the only people that have cultural and historical amnesia. Every generation got to be taught a lesson, learns the lesson that white supremacy, that this is a system of white supremacy. It was founded by Caucasians for Caucasians. They're hypocrites. They say for the people, by the people. They're hypocrites. Are you teaching them that they're hypocrites? That they white supremacists came and stole the land, murdered off millions of native people, including native blacks that were here. We were here by the millions. The whole Western Hemisphere, we were here for thousands of years. They don't teach the history. Then they stole us, and they captured the millions of here that was us, and integrated us with the other of our people that came from West Africa as slaves by the millions. They stole the land, murdered millions, then stole us to build the land. And not give us nothing and take everything from us. Every generation got to learn. Sharecropping. We trusted him to share in the bounty. And we wound up what? Owing him at the end of the year. Losing. That's how we lost millions of acres of farmland, black farmers. They owe us millions. They owe us like 20 million acres of land. They owe us that just from what they stole. Reparations is $500K each. This is our only solution. These people are magicians. They use the sleight of hand. How magicians get away with magic? You trust them. You go scrutinize a magician. You see him with the curtain up. You go peek behind the curtain like the Wizard, the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz. Richard Pryor was behind there in the Wiz. And then you go question and stuff. Say, oh, wait a minute, stop the show. Let me observe this. The magic trick is over. We don't do this. We trust them and let them do their political agendas. We're so desperate to latch onto the Democratic Party. They have betrayed us. We need this institutionalized, because that murdering a black, unarmed black men is subconscious. That's Sofa at the firing range. Why do you think he spends so many hours at the firing range, shooting off hundreds of rounds of ammo? He smells the sulfur. That gun exploded, dissipated gunpowder, burnt gunpowder, it's sulfur. When you hear that loud popping, and that's all intimidating. That's the whole purpose of having firearms by Caucasians, is to intimidate you. He called the early Colt 45 the equalizer. That's compensatory, man. You got to go into a man's psyche. Why would he call a pistol an equalizer? Because it's his fear of genetic annihilation, that a black male could genetically just annihilate him. So he equalized. He fighting. And he has a penis complex. He has womb envy, a whole bunch of these complexes that we do not discuss because we don't have the institutions to lay it out. They memorialize this war. We at war against the system of white supremacy. That gunpowder, he loves it. Smell it. That's why when he's shooting you, he's taking you into the hell fire he was born. that stripped him of his self-accusing spirit that we call devil. When you graft, you make devil. Anything grafted from original is devil. All of us. If we've been grafted, you are devil. You just have to recognize whether you're in the essence or whether you're in nature. I told you when you're God, you pierce all that. God, study things. Look at the sister that was in the airport. Every fatal, every shooting is of a black armed person. Look at this sister in the airport. She was in the airport, took a pistol. I forgot which state that was. I think it was Texas. Took a pistol, shot it up in the air, in the ceiling. A police initially was walking towards her because she was acting erratic. He's walking towards her. If you look at the video. Excuse me. He got over towards her. She pulled out that pistol, wasn't thinking about it. He was focused on her. She was not focused on him. She was out of her mind. That sister had a breakdown, a mental breakdown, because she took the pistol and started shooting it up in the air. He shot her. Had that been a white gunman with an AR-15, that police would have ran the car. Had some white gunman that had been murdering people, just a killer. And that naturally happens in him. Then when he killed for this deep satisfaction of bringing the hell he was born into other people. That's sulfuric hell that he can fire that he was born in. That's a different fire. Remember Hugo Chavez walked up to the UN after George Bush, the son, speaking there the earlier day. The day before, Hugo Chavez, the leader of Venezuela that was murdered by the CIA, he was a revolutionary, socialist, and a good brother that love our people. Him and Brother Gaddafi love our people, Black America. He said it smells like sulfur up here. Remember that? Hugo Chavez. He got up on the UN. He said, because Bush was up there the day before, he said it smells like sulfur up here. Hugo Chavez was correct. Excuse me. Some white man could go murder, especially if they murder black people. Do you know why the police do not shoot them? Do you know why? Because they relate to them. They see themselves in that murder. And that murder is a deep sense of satisfaction in them. It's a sense of safety. They never murdered. It's hard for them to murder. Our brother John Singleton brought this out in the movie High Learning. I think that was in the early 90s. He made that movie for our brother Omar and that guy, the white actor who was playing the Nazi, the skinhead. Gary is a good actor too. Gary something. I forgot his name. He played in New Edition as a manager. New Edition TV show. He played the manager. I forgot his name. He was a good sniper, killing people. And then when they cornered him, they got him. He was crying. All in white police had sympathy for him. And black police don't shoot and murder people outright. We don't. That's why they love white police in the black community, because black police don't do it. So in the film, they begging him not to kill himself. He put the gun to his head, and they damn near just all put down their weapons. Oh, please don't do it. And when he finally went to go pull the trigger, the white man almost was beside himself. The police that was trying to stop him from doing it. That's their sentiment. That's their spirit towards that. Lying, stealing, and murdering black men. Lying about the state of the natures of the people. Lying to us about our condition, our circumstance. Lying to us about our potential, our aim, and what they have planned for us. They just naturally do this. So we gain trust for them. So that magician can pull another one over on us. And another generation got to rise up and say, I wonder why that man at the Bursaw office treated me differently. I wonder why that recruiter treated me differently. Why is my contract low? Yo, you're going to produce another generation of dumbass children that do not understand Caucasian. It's going to go for contracts. I wonder why I was treated different. They're going to wonder because you aren't bold enough and have sense enough and dignified and self-aware enough. Study yourself. to realize that there's a difference in the nature of Black and Caucasian people, especially in America, where our brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad used to say, Allah be pleased with him, he said the racism is so thick in the air you could cut it. That's the glass ceiling. That's the transparent racism. Translucent racism, translucent. Means it's there, you can see into it, but you can't see fully through it. It's there, it's a barrier. It looks like you looking through it, but it's not fully. Integration is that. So these police killings must stop. Look at John Crawford walking around with a BB rifle in Walmart. They executed him on sight. White murderers walk around with AR-15s, murdering, killing dozens of people. It's hard for them to kill. John Crawford wasn't aiming at them police. The police looked at him and saw that he had that BB rifle in his hand, and they executed him. Look at our brother, our baby, Tamir Rice, had a toy gun playing in the park, like how I'm in the park here. Tamir Rice is like sitting over there playing around with a toy gun. They rolled up on him and executed him quickly. You never do that to Caucasian children. They had the opportunity to strike down these white terrorists, these domestic terrorists. The only terrorists we know, the only terrorist on the planet we know is a Caucasian male. He's a coward. He will not fight us one-on-one, hand-to-hand, because he's a coward and he's frightened. And that fear is why he armed himself with firearms. And this is why they're always trying to disarm you. We must not disarm. We're the ones that need to arm. We just need to train. We need the cultivation. To form a militia to protect our economics, protect our educational system, to protect our decisions we make in court. Even just, what's our brother name? I wrote the name, Jalen Walker. Shot 60 times. They put 60 bullets from a young black man running from them. As a matter of fact, that's what a coward does. You can tell a coward will shoot you if you run from him. That's a coward. A coward, he's so frightened that now, you know, a dog that looks at a cat, dogs don't chase cats. The dog comes from the wolf, and the cat comes from, you know, a bigger line of felines and stuff. But they were small felines, but the domesticated cat, and the domesticated dog. The dogs don't chase cats. Dogs are interested in cats. Dogs see the cat moving, any little small thing, the dog is interested. And then it's the cat who sees the dog. Then the cat takes off, and that invokes the chase nature in the dog, the predator nature in the dog. Because now you chase. That's what you do with the police, brothers. Because you're not trained, because you're not disciplined, because you're not armed to protect your community. Stand up for our institutions then. We must build. We don't have any institutions. We're so proud of the magical ones we enter as laborers and consumers. When you run from the police, that evokes that coward. That's taking a coward who will not fight you one-on-one. But now you're taking off running because you've been trained. Because your parents were ignorant. Your relatives were ignorant. They were frightened. And they believed in a system, a magical system, that miraculously, every generation we wind up at the bottom again, starting all over, losing everything, generation after generation. They're doing it right here in Hempstead. Because you run, now you evoke bravery and a coward, and the media lionize the politicians. Joe Biden is increasing policing like 50 more billion. With the Ukraine, 35 billion, I believe it is. Remember? Defund the police. We saw the reality of this relationship and we wanted to stop it, to change it around. Well, you went back to sleep. You hit the snooze button, Black America. And now this demented Joe Biden is increasing more policing. Because it's more profit. They're raising all the rents, the cost of interest rates. Wall Street is buying all the housing. They have a plan for us to be a permanent underclass. Let me see if any questions around. That's peace. If anybody have any questions, let me chime in, please. Or if you want to comment. For some reason, these comments, I see them after the cast over, I'm trying to scroll through and maybe something on the phone. But that's what I had to say today. That's the two snooze buttons. That's got to change. This has to be dealt with. This is phenomenal. That remember Walter Scott shot because running from that cop. And when you run, you vote. You take a coward. Now you make him feel brave. And he got a whole system making him brave. Our brother, go, damn, look at, I was just going to mention that. Our beautiful brother, Nas, strong, good brother. You should have got counsel, brother Nas, before you made Supreme Team. You made Supreme Team. That you just ignored. Damn, I watched it all. It was good chronologically, and it gave names and stuff, gave events. But it didn't show how cocaine was being targeted for our communities through the CIA, brother. You could have got counsel from Rick Ross for that. Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Rick Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross. Him and Frank Lucas was at the Savior's Day. Both of them admitted that the government, Intel, were overseeing their operations. Frank Lucas with dope, military planes coming in. Come on. God damn. Freeway Ricky Ross bringing in cocaine on the West Coast. That was the CIA. Go watch Kill the Messenger. It's a good acting. And Kill the Messenger shows how it was the CIA using drugs for the Contras to get weapons for the Contras for a war. They do it all the time. This is a war on us. And in that movie, the protagonist, the hero, Gary Webb, the reporter who broke that story, it was in San Jose News, something like that, back in the days, in the 80s, big news, in the 90s, I think it was. He said to them agents that tried to coerce him to stop his movement, to stop that story and movement to eradicate this CIA operation in the hood in Los Angeles, they said, look, we're behind. They told me, we're behind it. We can't let this get out though. He said, because it's the Contras, they fighting the communists, we need the Sandinistas, we need all these people in Nicaragua on our side. And if it exposed, it'll create a greater war. We have to send soldiers and innocent kids will die. Gary Webb told him, he said, innocent kids are already dying. It's just not the ones you care about because they're targeting us. So, Brother Nas, that was a beautiful documentary, Supreme Team. I watched it. Yes, accurate. It was like that. Damn, in the 80s. Yes, it was. I was a little in that mix, and him said I was a street scrambler. So I would sell anything I did, all type of drugs, weed and blow. Then I would dip into the little stuff I was selling. I was an addict. And put in fake stuff. To dummy stuff, like weed, I would put in oregano. The cocaine, I would put in more baking soda, whatever. No cane, I forgot propane was something like that. Cut it with that. Take the little drugs, then resell it on the block. Now here you are, buying street drugs, and you getting junk. That's why they called you junk, because they knew we were doing that. Cocaine was targeted to us. And then they made crack cocaine, bigger sentences, and Joe Biden was behind this. Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are behind the crime bill. That 3 strikes you out, that destroyed black, decimated black family. And this demented Joe Biden gets up here acting like he's doing us favors now. Oh, if you're in crime, I'll get you a Pell Grant. He's supposed to be canceling student debt. This demented madman. He ain't making it past December anyway. I said that last year. After December, he's going to be diagnosed. He may get a couple of more months, 6 more months after that. 6 more months after that, depending on his medication. And when Kamala Harris becomes president, that's when revolution is back. Trump will be their revolutionary president to bring in, to further white supremacy. In Black America, since we don't want to do by ourselves, we're going to be pushed further to the bottom. You don't want to become militant. You don't want to become independent. You don't want to become nationalist. You don't want to become culturally strong, family strong. You don't desire this. You want to be a trusting laborer and consumer to some wicked-ass Caucasians that rule this country and have only done wicked to us since we've been here. I could ask you the question, if you challenge that, what evil haven't he done to us? What evil haven't he done to us? Joe Biden is getting back to over-policing, and that over-policing is to us. They've militarized the police because they hate us. They fear us. That man is operating from a subconscious. You operating from your self-accusing spirit. Oh, no, I can't do that. Oh, he has no self-accusing spirit. That's why he murder us and kill us for glee. He kills with this sense of satisfaction that I've destroyed a threat, a black man. And he kills for glee. Go Google culling and removing pests, coyotes, squirrels, pigeons, feral pigs, and then go listen real closely to these Caucasian. And if you black doing this, you're a copycat anyway. You're a caveman, a black caveman anyway. The few that do, you that giggle along with them, that's because you're along with them. But this originated in them. When they kill a pigeon, when they kill a rat, when they kill a deer, they giggle. It excites them. It's exciting. And the more dramatic it is, the more fun it is. The more powerful, unique the weapon is, the bullet, what it does, the more fun it is. He kills for fun. Everything in nature kills for purpose. Food, protection, defense. There's a purpose behind it. He has no purpose. He just murder at will. It's easy for him to murder. That's why he giggles about it. Go listen. Don't take my word for it. Google culling, pest, raccoons, pigeons, rabbits, mainly like rats and coyotes, all of them. Feral pigs, and go listen to him as he shoots some pow. He giggles. He gets a whole bunch invasive iguanas. Go listen to him when he shoot one. Then he collects them. He's having fun. It ain't recreation. He wrecks creation. Easily. That's just dealing with the nature. Now let me get on to my last part about this, because my aim was for us to form an institution to address this. We must do this. This is urgent. There is no holding off on this. We got to stop hitting the snooze button. Every time the alarm goes off, a wake-up call. This economy. We the ones lost all the businesses. We're losing our homes in Hempstead. You just keep hitting the snooze button because some corrupt politician or some fake-ass damn preacher puts you to sleep. Tell you, it's okay, it's for us. And they're going to make you more promises. The devil promises only to deceive. Right now in Hempstead, they want to displace us by thousands. You got to come out Wednesday. Stop hitting the snooze button. Wake up. This is a wake-up call. I'm calling us out. We must institutionalize a restoration resource center in Hempstead. And they got to be protected. You can't let them demolish it. It has to be protected. We're going to have to put it in historical context. Black people, we've been in Hempstead since probably since slavery. They always hide in our history, suppressing us. I know we were present in the 30s. You can see the pictures on who grew up in Hempstead and all these other Hempstead historic social media pages on Facebook. You see the pictures of us in the 30s and stuff in Hempstead. We want predominant numbers, but we didn't get that to the 70s. Well, that's the historic context of us being here and how we are, and it's us we're being targeted for the displacement, losing our home. We have been displaced by the thousands. I had somebody coming on social media trying to justify. You don't even know the facts, man. These people are wicked as hell. They're diabolical, and they use us just because they got black faces to sell them. Then they give you a red herring target to aim at, to be at, to blame on their conniving diabolical plans. And the only way out of it is what I promote today, what I propose today, a restoration resource center. Let's get it together. We can do it, family. We got to pool our resources, and in reparations, That's not just cash. It's basically going to be cash, the 500K. 500K, you could give me 400-ounce bar of gold. Give me a 400-ounce, that's a 20-pound bar of trade gold. I'll take it. You know, the one you hold in your hands. Then you can give me another 100 ounces of platinum or any other precious metal that I will gladly invest in my future. As one afflicted by the wickedness of this country, the exploitation for hundreds of years. You used us, abused us, and made us mentally dumb, deaf, and blind, robbed us of everything, our culture, our mind, our mores, our family, our language, our religion. Robbed us of everything, terrorized us, raped us, raped our children, and pedophiles. They're the devil. And you owe us. And that O has an or else to it. Or else Allah gonna throw the wrath on you. Stop hitting the snooze button. Allah burning this country. Look at the West Coast. We burning this country. Over and over. Flooding them. Went into Sin City, Las Vegas. He just sending you sign after sign. Well, he did. Yeah, you dominate us. You got numbers over us. You got arms over us. You got the knowledge over us. Because you got us mainly in ignorance. It's a few of us that's consciousness. It's just a growing class, though. You have the advantage over us. And you will not do right by us, so Allah comes in. And he burns your ass. He runs you out your house. He destroyed our black town. He's displacing us in Hempstead by the thousands. You got economic sanctions on us. Black America have the longest running, as all the people on this planet, Black America, we have the longest unbroken chain of economic sanctions applied on the people. They have applied economic sanctions on us for hundreds of years that continue to this day. And it's just sophisticated now because they give opportunity to a handful of us to sell a plan, an idea to the rest of us. Because we trust your asses. But Allah, he went to Sin City, flooding you, and burning. He's going to do more burning. In fact, America, because you ain't going to repent, because you ain't going to address your nature. You're never going to expose your nature. Every once in a while, you have one that come along that'll talk about it. What's her name? Jane. I forgot her name. Caucasian woman with the white hair, with the glasses. Jane, not Goodall. Jane, I forgot her name. James Elliott, I think. And like Tim Wise. They will actually speak about this. Our sister Catherine Gary. It's a few Caucasians and I think Ralph Shulman. It's a few that deal with the diabolical nature of Caucasian and expose it and show us what's going on. We wouldn't even know. Because we so rooted in hopelessness that all we have is our nature. So we project it on others that others are like this. You should treat us right. This is why we get so disappointed. We be expecting people to be like us. Caucasians know. He studies us. You need to study him like he studied us. Do like the 5%. Them brothers used to study me. Back in the 80s, that always caught my attention. 5% to be standing over there, right over left. He's checking you out, man. Analyze it. Some of us just walking around life, body-dotty, la 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 la. Yeah, we're getting wake-up calls. Stop hitting the snooze button. We must do something for ourselves, Black America. Well, that's it for my live today. I had to make them points, and they have a saying. They say some stuff, boy, Brother Orby, sound like you keep saying over and over. An issue will be brought to your surface. An issue and a problem will resurface again and again until you learn the lesson, until you correct it. Learn the lesson, correct it. If you don't, the issue will repeat itself. We just keep repeating, being displaced and gentrified, redline, priced out, quality of life lower, militarized police, over police, all the bad things, the worst things you could do that you would declare war on another nation, white America does to us. We got to get out this relationship. We need a dual state. We need dual citizenship for a dual state. We need an independent nation, similar to Israel, not where Israel took the Palestinians' land. and set up an apartheid system of land. You owe us. You owe us 20 million. And then we need 20 million on that. That's 40 million acres you owe us. Because you took, I think, 18. You took 18. So you owe us 38 million acres. A mineral-rich land that have an outlet to the sea that we can be productive on. We got to support that for a decade. We got to support it. Back us with arms until we start producing for ourselves. In Black America, it is our only solution. Then make it have a section of that. That's an independent state. That's recognized in the United Nations, even though that ain't important. The United Nations is oligarchs and banksters and long money. But we can do it as an example to other nations. That's what Israel means, light of the world. The current Israel is not a light, it is darkness. So they treat the Palestinians like dogs. Israeli police train American police on how to deal with us. All this militancy and just over-policing they aim at us, it will never remedy. It's only going to get worse. Not investing back in jails and stuff, and this demented Biden just putting billions, and then bringing in these immigrants into Black communities. Why? Because they can push us around, push us over. And our well-to-do people don't even turn back towards the community. This must change. And we have to ostracize them and punish them for colluding with our enemies and oppressors and exploiters. Because they selling the idea. You fake preachers, you sell out politicians, no more snooze buttons on you. The alarm is being rung. It's time for us to do something for ourselves. We can do it, family. Hempstead family believers. We must establish a restoration resource center based on a Black agenda and our culture to cultivate us, to prepare us to be independent and strong. But that dual citizenship, you can be a citizen there, or you can be an American citizen. Because you know many of our people still want to be American citizens. We can do it. I thank you for joining me on my live session. And next week, more than likely, will be that final part of Healthy Self-Image with dealing with the body with massage therapist Jackie Hill. Thank you for joining me today. May Allah keep us and grace us. And I leave you as I greeted you in the ancient Arabic words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Peace unto you.